Hello, class 11th student. Today, again, I'm going to start chapter 3rd from your book Statistic for Economics. Topic is Census and Sample Methods of Collection of Data. This is part 4th. In the previous video, we had come to know about two methods, okay, for collection of data. First is census method and second is sample method. Okay, so what is census method? When we are going to connect to all items, okay, then it is known as a census method. And what is sample method? When investigator is going to connect only few representative items, okay, then it is known as a sample method. After that, we had discussed about the methods of selecting sample, means how few people are selected as a sample. So in that, there are broadly two methods. First is random sampling and second is non-random sampling. Okay, and in random sampling, what is random sampling? The sampling in which each and every items gets equal chance of being selected. That is considered as a random sampling. So in that, we had learned about two method, lottery method and tables of random sampling. Okay, now in today's video, we are going to discuss about what is non-random sampling, and within that there are total 5 methods: purposive sampling, stratified sampling, then systematic sampling, after that quota sampling, and then convenience sampling. In today's video, just we are going to cover two topics. Okay beta, first is purposive sampling, that is also known as a judgment sampling, and after that stratified sampling, is another name is mixed sampling. So in this video, we are going to just cover these two method of sample selection that is related to non-random sampling. So first of all, we come to know about what do you mean by non-random sampling. After that, we are going to discuss about purposive sampling and stratified sampling in this video. Okay, so let us start with non-random sampling. Okay, what is non-random sampling? So non-random sampling includes all those method of sampling in which all the unit of population do not have equal chance of being selected in the sample of study. Okay, so whatever definition or meaning you had learned in random sampling, just its opposite is non-random sampling. Okay, let me understand it. What is random sampling? So random sampling is what? In random sampling, every item gets equal chance of being selected. Okay, so this is what? This is your random sampling. Okay, each and every item gets equal chance of being selected, and the most used method in random sampling is lottery method. Okay, if suppose there are 50 students and we want to select 10, and every one of them are good in speaking, so obviously that time we can make the use of lottery method. There are 50 slips, so anyone's name can come in that 10 slip. So in this way, each and every 50 student gets equal chance of being selected. But if we talk about non-random sampling, so in non-random sampling, each and every item does not get equal chance of being selected. So this is what non-random sampling, that method in which every item does not get equal chance of being selected. So this is your random sampling. Okay student, like if a teacher who is your game teacher, he know each and every student who is good in volleyball, who is good in cricket. So obviously when there is given right to a game teacher to select a cricket team, to select a volleyball team, so obviously he know who is better in which game, so he is going to select only those student who are good in that game. Okay, he is not going to make a random sampling. Okay, he is not going to give chance to everyone, he only going to give the chance who are good in the game. So this is non-random sampling. Okay, so in this those sample gets chance who fit to according to inquiry. Okay, when we use non-random sampling, so when if we talk about random sampling, so random sampling is used when all each and every item are homogeneous. Okay, so when items of universe, okay, universe are what? Homogeneous. Okay, when they are homogeneous means all item are same, so we use random sampling. Okay, and when, so this is your first point and this is your second point. Okay, and when each item of universe is what? Heterogeneous. Okay, heterogeneous means different to each other. Homogeneous means what? Same. When all of them are same, then we use random sampling, and when most of them are differ on the basis of similarity and dissimilarity, then this is known as a heterogeneous, and that time we are going to use non-random sampling. So this is what when we use random sampling and when we use non-random sampling. And what is non-random sampling? In which every item does not get equal chance of being selected. Okay, so let me understand what is written in your book. Okay, so what is random sampling? The sampling in which all those, it include all those method of sampling in which all units of population does not have equal probability of being selected in the sample of study. Okay, convenience of investigator or his personal judgment plays an important role in the selection of sample. Some of the well-known method are non-random sampling are under. So already in the first slide I had told you. Now we are going to discuss about purposive or deliberate sampling. It is also known as a judgment sampling. So what is written here? What is purposive sampling? So purposive sampling is that in which the investigator himself make the choice of sample item which in his opinion are the best representative of the universe. Just I had given you example now कि suppose your game teacher has given this responsibility to select 11 student as a cricketer. Okay, so obviously he is not going to make the use of random sampling. Why? Because maybe if he is going to give chance to every boy, so maybe they, some of them are selected who are not good in cricket. Okay, so now he know, because he conduct many games, so he know who is good in which game. So obviously he is going to make the use of deliberate sampling or purposive sampling. Means who is going to be selected as a cricketer, it depend upon the opinion or judgment of the game teacher. Okay, so why? Because he know each and every student who is good in game. Okay, so this is what your purposive and deliberate sampling. Okay, so I'm going to explain in my own way. So what is this purposive sampling? this purposive this purposive sampling is also known as a judgment. Is it also known as a judgment sampling? Okay, and it is why it is known as a judgment sampling, because it this method, the sample selection depend upon based upon the opinion of judge, judgment of based upon judgment of investigator. The based upon judgment okay, wait, again I am going to write it. So it is based upon judgment of the investigator. It is based upon judgment of investigator. Okay, that is why it is known as a deliberate, purposive or judgment sampling. And its example is reality show. Take the example of Dance India Dance or Indian Idol. Okay, so what they look the performance of every participant, and who are good in dancing or who are good in singing, who are best, they are selected. Okay, and in this way, episode by one episode by another episode, in this way the selection is done, and ultimately we get the winner. So the selection is depend upon whom? Selection is depend upon the judge. So that is why it is known as a purposive, deliberate or judgment sampling. Okay, now what are the merit of this method? So this method is flexible to allow the inclusion of those items in the sample which are of specific signification. Okay, if we want a good cricket team, so obviously we have to select those students who are good in cricket. Okay, so this method allow the investigator to select only those students who are good in cricket. Okay, in random sampling, this freedom of choice does not investigator get. Next is selection of item can be deliberately tuned to the purpose of study. Obviously, if we want to select a good dancer, if we want to send few students in Lalit Kala, in art and craft, so obviously we have to select those students who are good in art and craft. Okay, if we are going to select those students who are not good in, then obviously we are not going to get any prize, or we are not going to obtain any rank in the competition. Okay, it is very simple technique of selection of the sample item. Obviously, why it is very easy? Because there is not any procedure or anything. It depends upon the investigator to whom he is going to select. Okay, so in this way it is very simple method. It is totally depend upon judgment of investigator. Investigator wants to select as a sample, then he select, otherwise he is not going to select. It is very straightforward, very simple method. Okay, what are the demerits of this method? So there is a possibility of personal bias in the selection of the item. Like take the example of reality show. There are many time of controversy ki some are selected because he or she is the favorite of the particular judge. So these possibility is every time in this method. Why? Because selection of item is totally depend upon judge, depend upon investigator. Okay, suppose take the example, if your class teacher, the responsibility is given to your class teacher to select 5 students who are good in cricket, or who are good in good in like mathematics. Okay, suppose, so maybe there are in your class 10 students who are good in mathematics, okay, are good in cricket. So now in 10, just there is selection of how many? 5 students. So it depend upon your class teacher to whom he or she is going to select. So now here the opinion about the student is going to matter. So there will be possibility of personal bias. Maybe there are 2 students, A and B, both are good in cricket, but suppose class teacher don't like this student very much, okay, so now he has given opportunity to B because B is the favorite student of that class teacher. So this is what personal biasness. So there is always possibility of personal bias. Next demerit of this method is, because of the possibility of personal bias, reliability of the result become doubtful. Obviously, maybe ki A is less better in compared to B. B is more good in mathematics, are more good batsman, okay, but now then the selection is good. But suppose if A is better, but teacher is having more affection toward B, so if he or she is going to select the B, so obviously the cricket team is going to suffer, or that which team is going to be suffer. Why? Because A is better in the second condition. So remember that ki in this method there is always possibility of personal bias. If investigator have selected item on this personal bias, so obviously result is going to be doubtful, okay. So this is the demerit. And this method is deliberate. Deliberate means क्या होता है? जानबूझकर, ओके. Deliberate means क्या होता है? जानबूझकर. या purposely मतलब according to the purpose. अगर आपको एक अच्छा art and craft टीम तैयार करना है, तो obviously you have to select only those students who are good in art and craft. If you want to prepare a good cricket team, so obviously you have to select those students who are good in cricket, obviously. So if there is any personal bias, so obviously the team is not going to win. Why? Because the teacher has done the selection according to his like and dislike. So remember, this method and success of this method and result totally depend upon investigator. So investigator, if investigator wants that result is going to be 100% good and accurate, so there will be no personal bias, means he does not involve his dislike and like when he or she is going to select the sample, okay. Sample is only selected according to the purpose of inquiry, okay student. Now next method that we are going to discuss here, that is stratified sampling. Okay, what is stratified sampling? So first of all I want to tell you ki stratified, okay, I'm going to explain you in a very simple language, okay. What is stratified sampling? So stratified sampling is related to what? Stratified sampling, this stratified, okay, in this stratified, in the name strata, it is related to what? Strata, okay, strata. And what is the meaning of strata? Its meaning is group, okay. So in this method, what is, first investigator is going to divide investigator is going to divide the universe into different group, and then selection is done on randomly, okay. So this is what, this is your stratified sampling. Because simple language में this term strata is really stratified is derived from the word strata, that's meaning is group, okay. So what investigator is going to do in this method? He or she, means investigator, is going to divide the whole in universe in different group, and then selection is done on base of lottery method or table method. That is why it is also known as a mixed method. It is also known as a mixed method. Why? Because first off, when investigator is going to divide universe in different group, like suppose there are total 100 student, okay, 70 belongs to Hindi and 30 belongs to Sanskrit, okay. So in this way the 100 student are not totally equal, 70 are studying Hindi and 30 are studying Sanskrit. So what, first of all investigator is going to come to know about the property of universe. So he come to know that ki 70 are studying Hindi and 30 are studying Sanskrit. So now he can, after knowing this, so there is what, deliberate. Now he is going to divide this whole 100 student into two group. First is belong to 70 who is studying Hindi and the second group is related to those student 30 student who are studying Sanskrit. So this is what ग्रुपिंग ऑफ यूनिवर्स. तो इस मेथड में इन्वेस्टिगेटर पूरे यूनिवर्स को, पॉपुलेशन को डिफरेंट ग्रुप में डिवाइड करता है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सिमिलरिटीज एंड dissimilarities. Okay, so for that he first of all he have to know, he have to gather knowledge about the universe. After that investigator is going to divide into group. He is going to divide universe into group, and after that investigator is going to make the selection. So this is why it is known as a stratified sampling and mixed sampling. Okay, I think you are able to understand it. Okay, now we are going to understand here method in which population is divided into different strata. Strata means what, beta? Strata means group. Remember, strata means what? Group. Okay, so when population means what? Number of item, number of people who come under inquiry. Okay, so population is divided into different strata having different characteristic, and some of item are selected from each stratum so that whole universe get representative, is called stratified or mixed sampling. So this is the meaning that you are going to write in your copy. Okay, it is also known as a mixed sampling. So this question can be asked in 3 marks. Why is stratified is known as a mixed sampling? So why it is known as a mixed sampling? Because it is mixture of purposive sampling and random sampling. So when investigator is going to divide population into different group, so he is doing purposive sampling. Okay, he is going to divide the two group, one who is studying Hindi, second who is studying Sanskrit. So B is belonging only to Sanskrit and A is belonging to only Hindi. So there is what? Deliberate selection. Okay, now after that random sampling, selection of item from different strata done randomly. So when there is grouping of data, so suppose he want to select 10 student out of 100, so 7 he is going to select from A and 3 from B. So 7 and 3 can be selected on the basis of random sampling, means by using lottery method. Okay, so random sampling, selection of item from different strata done randomly. It is important to ensure that each stratum is respected in the correct proportion in the sample. Okay, so here is given the same example that I had discussed here. Suppose there are 100 students in class 10, out of which 70 had opted Hindi and 30 has for Sanskrit. Okay, now 100 student can be divided into two strata, means two group, 70 belonging to Hindi and 30 belonging to 70 belonging to Hindi and 30 belonging to Sanskrit. Okay, if only 10 students are selected by the investigator, so what he can do, 7 from first group, yani from the 70 student, and 3 from 30 student. So this is what? This is your random sampling. Okay, now these are the line from your own book. This method of sampling is generally adopted when populations consist of different group with different characteristics. Okay, we are going to make the use of stratified or mixed sampling when we can divide, we are able to divide universe into two groups. Suppose these 100 students, all the 100 students had opted Hindi or Sanskrit. So there is any possibility of grouping? No. So we cannot make the use of this method. So this method is only used when we can make division. We are able to divide the universe into different group. Okay, now here is also given the meaning of this method. According to this method of sampling, population is divided into different strata having different characteristics. Some of item are selected from each strata so that entire population get representation. Why we do this? Why we do why there is requirement of grouping and then selection? Suppose there are total 100 students and within that 70 are opted Hindi and 30 had opted Sanskrit. Now investigator want to select only 10 students, so maybe all these 10 students, if there is no division of these 70 and 30, so maybe all the 10 students belong to only Hindi or only belong to Sanskrit. Okay, so to ensure that ki sample is going to represent whole universe, so this is very important ki if there is any possibility to make there is any possibility of dividing the universe, so first we have to divide the universe, then we have to select the data. So we can select 7 students from here, from Hindi group, and 3 from Sanskrit group. So in this way these 10 students is going to represent whole universe. Okay student, now merit of this method. So this method covers diverse characteristic of population. Okay, so when in population in investigation area there are different people, different characteristic people, so we can going to cover all of them. Like suppose if there is any investigation ki like how many students have submitted their fees, so we can make the group of student who belong to rural area, who belong to urban area, who belong to uh, government job, whose parents belong to government job, whose parents belong to private job. So in this way we can make the division. Okay, so in this way when we use this method we are going to select the sample from all over universe. Okay, means from all the we are going to select diverse characteristic of population. Okay, on the basis of diverse characteristic of population a comparative analysis of data become possible. Okay, now this method of sampling offer reliable as well as meaningful result. Why? Because we are giving chance of diverse items. Okay, so it allows selection of such item which represent diverse characteristic of population. Okay, now what are the demerits of this method? So whenever you want to use stratified or mixed sampling, so first of all there is requirement that ki investigator is going to collect all important data regarding the universe. जब तक वो पूरी तरह से यूनिवर्स को नहीं जानेगा इन्वेस्टिगेटर, तब तक वो डिवीज़न नहीं कर सकता है. तो दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट रिक्विसाइट कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू मेक knowledge, you have to collect the knowledge about the universe, only then you are able to make the division, or you are able to make the grouping of data. So this method is suitable only when there is a complete knowledge about the diverse characteristic of the population. There is a possibility of bias at the time of classification of population into different strata. So there is this point is I had told you, now you can write everywhere, biasness is everywhere. Okay, now when the size of population is very small we cannot make it use small. Suppose there is only 12 students and you want to select 10, so there is no requirement to make the grouping and then selection, because only there is 12 or 15 students. Okay, 20 students, so we can randomly going to select it. Okay, so for today this much only. I know these topics are not very easy, but please student, first of all read your book and then listen the video. I think if you are having any problem you can write in comment box, I will give you response. Okay, thank you.